What a mess. So it looks like my internet cut out in my house just a second ago. My Wi-Fi cut out. And yeah, I was just battling trying to get it back up. I don't know what happened because I ran a speed test before I did this and everything was good. Everything was excellent. And right as the discussion started, it seems like it just dropped out. I mean, those kinds of things just happen. So I wanted to get back on here as quick as possible. I'm so sorry, guys. We barely got into it. Is anyone still here in the live chat? Engaging the phenomenon, Dios mío. Yeah, dude. Exactly. Dios mío. Talk about stressful. Talk about going from 0 to 100 real quick. I just noticed everything just froze up, and then I was like, what do I do? I can't believe this. Hey, Linda, thank you for being here again. I'm sorry that happened. It's out of my control. Can you guys do me a huge favor, engaging the phenomenon? Will you copy the link of this live and share it on Twitter and just let them know that we're back? We're back and running. Hopefully that won't happen again. I really can't promise anything. I've been having issues with my Wi-Fi just today, but it was working great the rest of the day, so I was totally ready to go, you know. I agree. The risk of a live, an unavoidable risk. So I don't want to waste anyone's time. Let's get back into the subject that we were talking about. 1 second. Well, now everything's backwards. 1 second, guys. Let me mute this so we don't have any weird sounds popping in here. We're ready to go. I'm pretty sure my brothers and stuff were sending me messages like, bro, are you live? What's going on? Yeah. That's one of the reasons why having a team helping you when you're doing these kinds of things is probably super helpful. Thank you, engaging the phenomenon. Thank you for sharing that, man. It's going to help out because there were people here. I feel so bad. They didn't know what was going on. So, let's get back into it. I got a little distracted there with that situation that just happened. But ufology, is it a man's world? If you go on Wikipedia, and I know Wikipedia is not the source of information for everything, right? But I feel like if you're new to this subject and you want to learn more about it, you're going to jump on Wikipedia, you're going to jump on Google, you're going to run a search and see what you find. And if you go to the list, there's a list of ufologists on Wikipedia. And the whole list is almost 95% male, right? So whenever you think of ufology and you imagine the old guard or you think of the faces associated to ufology, they are mostly male. That's at least what I have been feeling or what I've been seeing, you know, over the years of looking into this. But I never really thought about it until I had explained on the other segment of the live that when I looked at my analytics, I realized that 100% of my audience was male, and they were 25 and up. So I started thinking, like, there are so many intelligent, hard-working female researchers out there that should be highlighted, that I should see more of in the community, that deserve to, you know, stand out and be represented well because they're brilliant and they're doing great work. Mede Peterson, what's up, man? Undead Gaucho, hey, my friend, much love to the rest of my UFO fam. Thank you for being here, for being here, Mir. Julie, thank you for being here. Thank you guys, man. We just had a crazy situation. My Wi-Fi cut out. I hope it doesn't happen again, guys. If it happens again, I'll reschedule this live. I'll get a technician in here so next Wednesday that doesn't happen. But Yeah. So back to the subject. I want to know what you guys think. What do you guys think of females being represented in the UFO community or the ufological community? Um, do you think that they are represented in the right light? Because I feel like we don't see enough female researchers. There are a lot of you, and I see you on Twitter, like you, Julie, and you, Linda, and Pro Illusionist. Yes, we're back. I am so glad we're back. I was totally freaking out there for a second. Had a rough week, and this was just gonna make it even more rough. Yeah, technical difficulties go with the phenomenon. I agree. Maybe a UFO flew by my balcony. I didn't even see it. So yeah, back to what we were discussing there. There are a lot of female researchers now. Galan Vasquez on Twitter, he actually retweeted the original link for this live, and he put a whole list of female researchers there, and there's a big list, right? And they're all female researchers that I've seen before, that I know are either researching or interested in the phenomenon and doing their part on UFO Twitter and just online. So you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to copy what he sent me, the list. And Julie and Linda, you guys are on that list. And I'm going to add your your Twitter handles here in the live chat. So everybody should definitely go and follow you guys and support you guys and let you know that, like, I totally think that females are brilliant. And this isn't just about female researchers. Titling this live is Ufology, A Man's World, is kind of just saying, like, I want to see younger people looking into this subject. I want to see all different kinds of races. It's a global phenomenon, and there are these days. You do see, for example, Deep Prasad or just different people online. Myself, I'm from Argentina. I'm Argentinian. Just different cultures of people. Galan Vasquez and the Spanish researchers. Here, I'm gonna try and post what he sent me. I don't think I can. I think it's too many Twitter handles. So, one sec. Here's some of the Twitter handles. Let me see if it lets me put it there. So those are some of the Twitter handles that he sent me. But yeah, so looking back at the subject and realizing, when ufology was coined and how long this subject has been around, we can see the evolution of the community over the years. But like when I think of the old guard and I try to imagine female researchers, I think of, for example, one of the founders of APRO. You have a Coral Lorenzen, and Hynek thought that APRO was one of the best civilian UFO groups of their time. Then you have Linda Moulton Howe. You also have, somebody sent me a video on Twitter of really interesting female researcher that I actually overlooked, Carla Turner. Now, he said, E.T. Tomato actually sent it to me. It's a cool username. He said, this woman gave immensely to the abduction field before her death of breast cancer in 1996. Her emphasis was on the intentionally deceptive nature of alien interactions with humans. And I listened to that chat, and I've heard her talk before. I actually forgot about Carla Turner, which is unfortunate because I'm really into John Mack's work, and I feel like she's kind of on that same, she's coming from that same area, that same perspective. So when I realized, like I was saying, that my audience on my channel was 100% male, I started looking at the whole UFO community and thinking, you know, it is true that there are a lot of older males looking into this subject, and I thought it was interesting and something we could talk about. So let me check out the live chat real quick. It may help me calm down a little bit after the Wi-Fi cutting out on. I was running around, guys, trying to reset the router. I even called my internet provider, and nothing. So let's see who's in there. Galan Vasquez is back. Thank you, man, for coming back. Thank you guys all, as always, for being here. Really, it means a lot. Goofon is here. He says, ufology is dominated by men. It's 98% male, bro. Not that many women. The women do the woo, and we do the UFO, mainly. Women don't waste time with this stuff. I mean, I think that there are, that's basically why this whole subject came up. Ufology, a man's world, a question mark. I didn't want to offend anybody, and I was trying to think, how can I present this to the community without stepping on anyone's toes, really, because I don't think it's a subject that deserves that kind of interaction. I think it's something that can be positively discussed, and we can maybe help make female researchers or younger researchers feel more comfortable coming into this field. Because I do feel like when you get into the field, when you start looking into the subject, you do get tested a lot. Especially imagine if it's 99% men, older men that have been looking into the subject for many, many years. I'll tell you the truth. Like, I could see situations getting a bit more aggro just from that perspective, if that makes sense. People get a little testy, but I think there are many brilliant female researchers out there, and I wanted to have this live to see how many we could get in here, like Linda, like Julie, to see if we can see what they learned and how they feel about this topic. So let me check out the live chat again. Linda said, Kathleen Martin. Now I want you guys to do something. If you guys put a name of a female researcher in the live chat, give me a little description of what they're doing, so then I will obviously take that information from the live chat and do more research, because this isn't the first time I brought this up. I brought it up in the past because I wanted to, like I said, highlight female researchers, like I do when I make a video about Hynek, or when I make a video about ballet, or when I make a video about John Mack, or so let me see what you guys are saying there, guys. Many of that time period believe she was given cancer. It is strange that a lot of ufologists seem to meet strange fates, but cancer, it could have happened. It could happen. It happens naturally to people. It's unfortunate. Just like John Mack, when he was hit by that car, the drunk driver, it could happen. It's unfortunate, strange, but it could happen. Let's check out the live chat. Linda said she is in MUFON, Betty Hill's sister. Okay. Cool. Thank you, Linda. How do you guys feel, Linda and Julie? What do you guys think about this topic? Like, do you think that female researchers are respected in this community? Because, like I said, there's a lot, but I don't see them that often in Twitter, or other than you guys that I often see a lot, which is awesome. But I don't see that many female researchers, like we were saying, in comparison to the male portion of this. The Half-True 509. Leslie Kean is one of the most important journalists of our time in regards of UFOs. I agree. And that's definitely something that I think, it should remind people especially these days. You know, I could see why ufology being around as long as it's been and the subject being studied by, you know, by these scientists and different intellectuals like that for so many years. I could see how those circles could be mostly male a long time ago. You know, it wasn't right. But women have been fighting for equal rights for a long time. But today we're in a different space. We aren't fully there yet, but we're in a different space. And I think we can do our best, you know, to try to appreciate all the work they do. Because especially all the men, I mean, all of us, every one of us, male and female, we would never be here without a female, without a mom. So you got to respect the females out there. So Betty's sister, I definitely need to look into Betty's sister. Let's see. Goofon said, I've been in this field for 17 years and I try to bring women to the forefront. It seems they don't seek the attention, not aggressive. Nice Sakach. Or Nise. I don't know how to say that. Sakach is a wonderful researcher, but doesn't seek attention. Okay, I'm going to look into her. Thanks for suggesting that, man. Julie, I don't mind there being men for now as long as they don't demean or dismiss the women who are in it. I don't think there's any... I'm not saying that there shouldn't be men. I'm saying that we should all be working together and there should, like, nobody should feel excluded. And really, it just fascinated me when I saw the analytics on my channel. And then I realized, like, a lot of the community was male. So yeah, I think we could all work together. But... like when you guys imagine the old guard in your head, right? Be honest with me. Who do you imagine? Let me know in the live chat. Who do you picture when you think the old guard? Linda said, no, not respected. Well, that's why I'm here. That's why we're having this discussion, because everyone should be respected in this community, you know? It's not that difficult. I got to be honest with you guys. I think the one reason why I don't lash out or react to people negatively online, like really, you know, like I'm not rude. I'm not like blatantly rude to people, is because I just don't have time. I don't have the time or the energy to do that online. Maybe if I ever see someone face to face and I have the urge, or I feel like it's so important that I have to say something to them, maybe I'll do it. But life is short. Everyone has their own opinions, their own ideas. But that doesn't mean that we can't address certain things and have healthy discussions. Ryan. Hey, Ryan, what's up, man? Thanks for being here, man. Paola Harris. You guys are giving me a good little list here I'm going to look into. Pro-illusionist. I think more opportunities should be given to women to engage more on shows on radio or on shows on YouTube. Ideally, if I knew of female researchers who posted on YouTube frequently, I'd subscribe to them immediately. That's exactly my point. Is like, let's, for example, think of TTSA. I'm into TTSA. I like what they're doing. They're doing a great job. But if you look at unidentified, you know, there's no females on unidentified. And if you look at the list, you know, think of who you think of when you think of TTSA. I know that there is females on TTSA. Like I'm going to pull it up now. So let's see exactly who's on the team when you go to their webpage, right? You got Tom DeLong, you got Hal Putoff, you got Jim Semivan, you got Christopher Miser, Steve Justice, Lou Elizondo, Chris Mellon, Joe Sherman, Chris Herndon, Dr. Norm Kane, Paul Rapp, and then there is a biomedical research and attorney. Her name is Dr. Adele Gilpin. She's Department of Defense Traumatic Injury Research Program, or this is like her her creds here. Department of Defense Traumatic Injury Research Program at the Uniformed Services University of Health Sciences, a regulatory law practice on FDA regulated products, former faculty at Johns Hopkins Bloomberg School of Public Health, University of MD School of Medicine, Medical College, Pennsylvania. Like, she's got some great creds, but I personally, other than looking at this list, haven't seen much of her when you think of TTSA. Carrie DeLong, too. She's the chief content officer, the president of the entertainment division. I think she's Tom DeLong's sister, if I'm not mistaken. Let me know, guys, if I'm wrong about that, but I think I'm right there. It's Tom DeLong's sister. But that's another example, right? So you have a person there in TTSA that, unless you go to their webpage and you look through who is on TTSA, you wouldn't know that there's one of the members there that is female, or there's two. You have Carrie and the other woman I just named. But let me check out the live chat, guys. You got to understand. After this live just cut out a second ago, I got so distracted. I'm trying to get back in the groove, get back in here with this conversation. So I see Ryan there engaging the phenomenon. Julie, the half-true 509 said, my problem with LMH is she is too accepting of what people tell her. Most of the time it's BS. But her early doc work on cattle mutilations is great. Well, Linda Moulton Howe, yeah. I mean, you guys, again, I think about like what could happen after many, many years of me looking into this. I may end up going down so many rabbit holes that at the end of a long stretch, you might think of me like people might be talking about me like they did, like you're talking about Linda Moulton Howe there, like she's too accepting of what people tell her. I give everyone the benefit of the doubt, right? I also understand that this phenomenon is an alien phenomenon. It's an unexplained phenomenon. There's so many times that I sit back and I see people just rip people apart. And I think we have to consider that we are trying to put this phenomenon into a box within the parameters of our human logic, within the parameters of our human mind and what we believe as the limits of reality and what we believe are the logics of science. But everything around you, all those laws and all those ideas and concepts have been created by humans. I've always wondered if the day that we ever do make contact, or what if we ever went to another planet, we met another culture or another civilization, or they came to us, right? Like what's going on with the phenomenon. And they said to us, look, everything you guys are doing is completely wrong. You guys have no idea about space and time, and your math system is garbage. Your concepts on reality are completely incorrect. That's the reason why you guys can't keep up with our craft. That's the reason why you guys don't even know where we came from, or that's the reason why you guys can't even notice that we've been here this whole time. I don't know, So some people have theories that are very out there. That's just how it's going to be, I think, until we really figure out what's going on. A pro illusionist said, the point of TTSA is a great one. Thank you, man. Like, that's exactly what I'm trying to say, is like, for some reason, even today, it seems like there are intelligent women working in the shadows. I don't know why they're not being pushed forward and shown to the world and getting the respect they deserve, right? If they're part of the team, highlight them as part of the team. Show how important they are. But of course, I respect TTSA. I don't know what the reason could be. Maybe that member of TTSA just doesn't want to be in the spotlight. Linda Thompson said, some let me know they can't take the junk. Some let me know they can't take the junk they get on Twitter. Let me see. Mir Pearson said, yes, in the money, we must be humble or will be humbled. I'm trying to keep up. I love that you guys are having a great conversation here. Carl Anderson's here. What's up, Carl? They walk among us, James Fox. I'm trying to keep up with what you guys are saying here. Julie, boxes don't apply to the phenomenon well. Exactly. That's definitely something that I totally believe. It's like, I don't understand I don't think that science may not even be able to classify or keep up with what these craft are doing or what this subject is or what the phenomenon is, because for us it's just magic, but it may be science that we can never understand. I don't know. Pro Illusionist said, I think like Linda says, there are a lot who hate the vitriol that is spewed online and just don't want to engage with those people and prefer face-to-face meetings like conferences or tours. I could totally see that. I could totally understand that. And again, if we're going to talk about the audience being older, right? Because I told you guys my audience is like 25 and up. But there's people that are subscribed to my channel that are in their 50s. I know people in their 50s that aren't savvy on the internet or savvy on social media and stuff like that. So it's totally understandable that there are many people obviously that are savvy in their 50s and 60s and 70s and even older on the internet. But I'm saying there are some people that are not. And yeah, the whole thing about the internet being toxic and there being a lot of toxic energy spewed online is very real and very, it sucks, to be honest. It really does. 'Cause I just don't get it. There's moments where I just don't see what typing anything that negative to somebody about, or fighting with somebody online really, what it's really going to get you. Where are you going to get with that? It's not like, fighting, people fight for what they believe in, but fighting for what you believe in is a real thing. It's not like you can just type a few words, send it, and then forget about it. If you're going to fight for what you believe in, you need to fight for what you really believe in. So I prefer to not insult people and not be toxic. So I could totally understand, because there's moments where I just want to get off the internet. There's moments where I'm even worried what's going to happen if I say something out of context, or if I say something that maybe somebody doesn't understand, or, I worry that I'm going to get dragged through the mud or something. But a little mud never hurt. A little mud never hurt anybody. So, hey, my dad's here. Hey, Dad. He's waving. So, Mir Pearson, it's got to be the academia. It's the last stronghold of male dominance. They're trying to make it so that only a few of us can have valid, verifiable discourse. We definitely need more women for this. Yeah, we need more women, but not just women, right? I was also saying we need to make this really inclusive, this community, because the more minds we have looking into this subject, the better, right? We need a young audience, fresh minds, people that think outside the box. We need males, females, different cultures, different gender, different ethnicities, different backgrounds, different, I want an artist's opinion and I want a scientist's opinion. I want all the information I can get, right? It's Julie just said, all you need is love. And, in a way, it's true. It's kind of a cheesy thing to say. It's a nice phrase, obviously. Julie, thank you for putting that in the live chat. But there will not always, the yin and the yang is real. I say that all the time. The negative and the positive will always exist. The darkness and the light will always exist. But we have to band together and try to figure this out and see what's going on. So, this subject for this topic, I have been trying to figure out how to present this, how to talk about this. Where am I going to go with this? How am I going to continue a conversation about this? And for now, this is the best I could come up with, right? To try to invite as many female researchers into this chat, invite all you guys into this chat, all my, all of you guys that are always here, so, supporting the channel, having conversations, and see if we could bring some more females here to let them know that they are respected and that they do deserve a voice. And I believe that ufology is very, very male based, and I just don't get it. I don't see why. Let me check out the live chat. Carl Anderson said, demons, ghosts, UFOs, alien gods, all various facets of what we know as the phenomenon, in my opinion. Carl, I agree. Now, if you look at the banner on my channel, it says the paranormal is normal. I've been spending a lot of time for, I don't know how long it's been now, but on the channel dedicated just to the UFO phenomenon. I haven't really been dipping my toes into other subjects, also because I feel like there's people in the community that don't see the paranormal. They don't tie the paranormal to UFOs. They draw a line between UFOs and the paranormal these days. But I still am a big believer that if we understand how this phenomenon works and how this phenomenon interacts with us, it will teach us about reality, and it may teach us about many other things. If it links to consciousness, it could teach us about the occult. It could teach us about magic. It could teach us about just what reality really is, right? And how those kinds of things could exist, like demons. I think that demons could be very well linked to the phenomenon, in the sense of, imagine someone getting abducted a 1,000 years ago or 100 years ago. They would probably think it was a demon. If somebody saw a gray before they knew what a gray was, they would totally think it was a demon. It would be the only way they could associate it or classify it, and that's all we do as humans. We associate things and classify them. That's why we live between the barriers of time, space and time, right? But gods as well. See, like gods, I feel like aliens could totally be misinterpreted as gods. Extraterrestrials could totally be misinterpreted as gods. So let me check out the live chat, man. I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you guys so much for coming back. Was very worried. But I guess this is a new kind of, it's a new situation, me going live and doing this kind of stuff. I'm not used to it really, and like I said, I'm a one-man team in here. A lot of these live people that go live have more than one person telling them how everything's going. I'm just winging it, guys. I'm doing this so we can all talk and meet up once a week and hang out here. Pro Illusionist said, hey, Gaucho's dad. Lots of love to you and your son. Thank you, Pro Illusionist. That's really kind of you, man. So kind. Thank you, man. My dad's probably like that. Linda Thompson, we need different people working on different things. Plenty to do. I agree, there's so much to do regarding this subject. There are so many ways we could approach it and so many ways we could look at it. I think about, a lot of people concentrate on the craft and, the capabilities of the craft and how the technology works. But I've been really interested in the characteristics of the occupants lately. I've been guided more in that area than looking at the craft. I think the craft and the technology is fascinating. I'm a bit worried that once people understand how to really use the technology, it will be turned into a weapon. Yeah, most likely, right? If it's not already. If it's not already in the process with the crash retrievals and all that kind of stuff. So I'm really more interested in the occupants and understanding their relationship with us, right? Let me check out the chat again. Julie said, plenty. I prefer the consciousness science side of things. But you have to be a Renaissance person to grasp that field. Quantum, physics, archaeology, so much. It's all fascinating stuff, Julie. Definitely. And it's, I think you just have to have an open mind, It's so powerful to have an open mind in this subject and understand too, like I was saying earlier, like I'm not putting my chips in any corner. I'm not stepping on anybody's toes, and I'm not here to fight. I'm here to find the truth. That's it. I'm here to build this community, meet people like you guys, find the truth, and try to see if I can actually do this. Because I've been putting a lot of effort into this channel and putting a lot of effort into trying to research more and find time to do all these kinds of things. Like before this live, I was working and I had to just, I was like, I got to finish now, and then I got to set everything up and I got to jump on this live. So I hope, I hope just having an open mind and being positive and working at this and growing here in this community and stuff, I can continue to do this for a very long time. I can give you guys value, and maybe we can discover things working together that no one else has if we work as a team. Hey, Holy Noel, or Holy Noli, how are you? Thank you for coming. Mickle the Pickle, or Mickle in a Pickle. He says, like you mentioned, I believe the phenomenon is multi-faced. Ghosts, UFOs, missing 411, etc. Unfortunately, everyone wants to talk about the Tic Tac. Yes, I can understand why, but there's so much more. Well, yeah, there was a point where I was really just trying to find connections between the phenomenon and everything else, right? I was really doing my best trying to put the pieces of the puzzle together, because I do believe there is a connection between the phenomenon and the occult. And then if you look into the occult, there's a lot of ties into everything else that has to do with the paranormal. And missing 411, in my opinion, is very possible. I'm not saying that's what it is, but it's very possible that it's an aspect of the abduction phenomenon that we're not considering. It's very possible, because lots of the aspects of missing 411, like there's cases where they find the body super far from where the person got lost, in a location where they don't understand how this person got so far. I think they actually found a person in a tree, if I'm not mistaken, in one case, which I thought was super fascinating. It's unfortunate for that person and all the people that are disappearing in those cases, but it ties up perfectly, in my opinion, with the abduction phenomenon. Thank you guys. Mir, thank you for telling everybody to hit that thumbs up. Yeah, guys, please hit that thumbs up. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe. Become part of the community. We do this every Wednesday. We hang out. We talk. So getting back to, ufology, a man's world. I feel like that title, I was walking a thin line there. I didn't want to make anybody angry, but I also felt like it was important for me to title the live that, because I wanted to emphasize this idea that it can't be a community just full of men all the time, and adults, or people in their 30s and up, right? We need young people in here. We need females. We need everyone in here working together. Julie says, like they were dropped. Yeah. And there was cases too, if we're still talking about 411, I think there were missing 411. There were cases where they found folded clothes, like neatly folded clothes, and they didn't find the person, but they found their clothes just neatly folded. There's also another case. I'm not sure if it's missing 411, but it was a story I heard. I can't remember. It was on a podcast, and it was about somebody going into the forest and then feeling lost, not actually getting lost, but feeling confused and lost, and then just walking off and totally getting really lost, right? But they felt like something was manipulating them to feel that way. So, I mean, there's so much that could be happening, right? A Mickle in a Pickle says Bigfoot, Dogman, who knows what other cryptids could be real. Yeah, something that you guys might find interesting is basically at one point I was looking into it's always the ancient astronaut hypothesis that takes me down this rabbit hole, right? Because I'll look at the concept of alien gods, and what if the gods were aliens? And then I go back to, I don't know, Egypt, any sort of ancient culture. And I start to think of, well, the gods supposedly inspired, these occult practices and stuff. So if the aliens were teaching the people these occult practices, what does that mean? And if it has to do with consciousness, what does that mean, right? So I've looked into the occult a few times. I've looked into grimoires and things like that. And Mickle in a pickle, I basically was looking at a grimoire one day, and it was I can't remember what the name was, but it had it was a grimoire for summoning demons, right? And the illustrations in the grimoire, when you look at them and you think about the illustrations that were drawn there, I think it matches up with a lot of the cryptids. Like, you can find similarities tied to cryptids. So I don't know. It's just a little fun fact there. I was just up at night looking at the pictures of the grimoire and trying to think, like, is it possible that cryptids are somehow tied to the occult? And what we're seeing that's a cryptid, or, the Mothman, or those kinds of things that have an aspect of it that seem metaphysical, or like, people say they see cryptids come, like they're from another dimension and all this kind of stuff. There's even cases of Bigfoot and UFOs together. It's pretty crazy. It's a deep, deep, deep rabbit hole, guys. But Carl Anderson said, the very belief in gods is an acknowledgement of the paranormal. Yeah, I've talked about it. I've definitely said that a few times. I currently, at this point in my life, I respect everyone's religions and everyone's beliefs. But I do think that if you're going to consider a being that is not from this earth teaching the human race and coming down and guiding us to evolve to basically who we are today, the key phrase there is that not from this earth, right? Not from here. So people always imagine little gray men, but they don't realize that it doesn't have to be what we are talking about in the community as, the humanoids or the insectoids or the reptilians or the grays. It could literally just be, I don't know, it could literally be a god or an angel. An angel flies out of the sky in front of me. For me, it's an alien, right away. There's no way you could change my mind on that, because he's not from here. If you told me he's from, I don't know, he lives down the block from me and he was born here, he was born on Earth, then yeah, maybe I could see a connection there. But yeah, Holy Noel said they are gray. I was thinking tonight, guys, to bring this up too, but seeing as we're talking about growing the community and including all different kinds of people and stuff like that, have you guys ever wondered why the humanoid aliens, the humanoid ETs, why the humanoid ETs are almost always like, they're almost always like Caucasian, like white, with blue eyes and blonde hair, or they look almost Nordic, right? They call them the Nordics, right? They do call them the Nordics. But I've always wondered, like, why don't we see any other skin tones? Why don't we see any other? There are humanoid aliens, I guess, that I've heard in stories that are more, I don't know how to say it, like they have a darker skin tone. They have like, I don't know how to say this. I'm thinking of the right word. 1 second, guys. They have bushy black hair or bushy red hair. And there's a few cases. There's strange cases, but their skin tone is a little darker. But still, they're not. It's like there isn't much variety there. You got the Nordics, the Olmecs. There we go. The Olmecs were black. Well, I'm saying, yeah, there isn't too much variety. There are a few cases like the Olmecs, but you hear a lot of these Nordic cases, and I've always been like thinking if maybe those cases or the interactions people were having at the time, right? Because think about, a lot of those cases are old cases, right? Even the Valiant Thor case and all that. They're old cases in a time where racism was really, 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 really prominent. The other day on the podcast, oh look, Big Smoke. What's up, man? What's up, Big Smoke? He said, love your stuff, man. Listen to the 2-part podcast. What do you think of Armored Skeptics videos on Mothman? Well, I haven't checked out Armored Skeptics, but I'll look into it, man. Thank you for dropping that there. I'm going to look into that. I love the Mothman story and the Mothman legend. So Holy Noel said, wow, Olmecs are in the Sitchin books. Okay. They were exceptionally beautiful. I called them Barbie people. Oh, Julie just said, I saw 3 blondes and an Asian looking one. Well, those are some of the I don't know how to say it. Now, guys, I'm getting tongue-tied. Those are some of the types of beings I've heard of, right? So you have the Nordics. You have these darker-skinned, sort of bushy-haired, like they always say their skin looks real, like thick. I don't know how to say it. Like kind of like not scaly, but like thick, like strange. There's some short ones, right? Like little small people that are like hooded and wearing hooded clothes and stuff like that, or hooded garments. But it's always kind of like between those two lines. And then you have the Asian-eyed, like slanted-eyed, or Oriental, whatever you want to call it. But I always wondered, like, isn't it strange, right? Isn't it strange, like, that they would have blonde hair and blue eyes? Or just, like, why not have pink hair? Why not have random colored hair, I don't know. I always thought about that. I brought it up in a video a long, long time ago. But I felt like it was something, too, that's kind of touchy. Because even though you're talking about aliens and you're talking about extraterrestrials and stuff like that, I still feel like bringing up that there's no dark-skinned aliens. Some people might get offended. I don't know. But I think it's something to consider. Because I do think maybe that could be an influence of just a time period, right? So if they are projecting and showing us what we want to see or whatever, maybe they're just projecting that because they think that that's what we think is beautiful. I think if they did that today, they would have to have all different races of humanoid projections to make us see what we thought was beautiful. Let me check out the chat, man. It's getting harder and harder to keep up with you guys, but I like that. I like that you guys are having a great conversation in there. Maybe we are in their image. That's very possible. I mean, that's the story, right? We were made in God's image. I mean, the Greys and all the other, they're all humanoid. I've made it, remember the anthropomorphic video? You guys check that out if you haven't, where I bring up this idea of, like, why are these beings anthropomorphic? Why do they, is it evolution? People say that, people theorize that, like, we're a good example of evolution, right? So maybe it's that, but I've always wondered. Mickle in a Pickle said, what got you into this rabbit hole, Undead Gaucho? Mickle, are you referring to looking into the paranormal? Let me know. Pro Illusionist, I'm rereading something there. Carl Anderson said, well, if they showed up looking like me, I would say, WTF. Why, man? No, don't say that. I don't know. I think I'd be a little more freaked out if some Nordic, blonde, blue-eyed, humanoid aliens showed up to try to talk to me. I think I'd be more freaked out. I think I'd be a little more like, okay, this is bad. Something weird's going on. I'd be like, okay. I don't know. I just feel like I'd be a little more, I don't know. If some beautiful creature just showed up, I think there would be something behind that. It just wouldn't make sense to me. They don't have to, I'm not saying that they should be like monsters or anything, but I'm saying if some creature shows up or some humanoid being that looks perfect and is just the image of what perfection would be to us, Like, I don't know. I don't think I would trust it. I think it would make me feel a little uncomfortable. Pro Illusionist said, I think it was Thor. Well, yeah, if he looked like Thor, it'd be different. It'd be different. But Thor's kind of gritty. Thor's kind of rough and tough, you know? If he flew out of the sky like Thor, that'd be different. But still, that'd be still kind of scary. Because if you didn't know who Thor was and you didn't understand, you know, you didn't have the comic book as a reference and you just saw that happen right in front of you, he comes flying out of the sky with a giant hammer, you'd be kind of freaked out. The mighty hammer. It's always weird when they show up, no matter how they look. Yeah, Julie, I agree. Julie said that in the live chat just now, but definitely, it's always weird. I could imagine it's always weird when they show up, right? These occupants, these beings, whatever these things are, right? I felt like that was a little rude, these things. Whatever these beings are, it's got to be weird when it happens. You know, I've always wondered, like, how my mind would react in that moment. Like, how, because have you guys ever had a moment where you've seen something or had a situation happen that just really literally blew your mind? Like the phrase blew my mind. Like, you know, when people say, oh, that blew my mind, I'm talking literally blew your mind, where it just seems like your brain overloaded trying to process what's happening. It's weird. It's a weird sensation. I've had that happen like once in my life, where it's almost like reality. You know, everything's in slow motion, like in the movies, and everything gets, I don't know. It's a weird sensation. But I feel like if I ever do make contact or do come into contact with these beings or a craft or something, I think my brain is going to have to like process for a second. And so, yeah, it's definitely weird. It's always got, I'm imagining for people that have close encounters often, it must be weird every time. Holy Noel said, I think we'll see much more in the next few months within the year. Yeah, I think I do think that in the next few years, I think disclosure and this idea that people have of, you know, quick disclosure, we're fighting for it. We're having these discussions. We're trying to find the truth and search for the truth. But I think it's going to be rolled out real slow. I brought up the other day the coronavirus and all that kind of stuff, and how I felt like people just, there's moments where people can't grasp with certain things. Like when you think of the world's biggest mistakes, right? Like, I don't know, Hiroshima or the Holocaust, where things were so obviously wrong, right? But people were convinced it was right. It's like, it's strange. It's like, I feel like if we do ever have disclosure and the truth ever does come out, there will still be so many people looking at reality in the wrong way, right? So the only way to get everyone to wake up is to just do it piece by piece, real slow. I don't know. I feel like disclosure is a journey for all of us, you know? Mickle in a Pickle said, I haven't really seen much as UFOs are concerned. More so weird stuff has happened to me all my life. Coincidences, premonitions, the feeling of being pushed, knowing the next song, etc. Just odd stuff. That's fascinating, Mickle. Thank you for sharing that, man. Pro Illusionist says, it reminds me, what do you think of the James Fox tease of more stuff coming very soon and pretty big news? You know, I've steered away from that. From talking about that, really. I don't have any inside contacts like a lot of people have. I don't know why, right? Maybe because I think I said it in one of the last lives. I'm a small fish in a big pond. But I don't know. I think we just have to wait and see, because it could be something good and awesome, but it's not going to be, I don't think it's going to be, you know, smoking gun, like, here we go, it's begun, right? Like, we're already in that process. It's so funny to, like, gimbal go fast and FLIR, like, they're so powerful. What TTSA is doing, you know, all the news articles that came out, where we are today, it's very, very, it's a very strong moment for this subject, I believe. But I also believe that a lot of the community is already just used to it. You know, a lot of the searchers are just the truth seekers are just like, okay, now now show me the crashed UFO, and I'm like, I don't think that's gonna happen yet, guys. I think it's gonna slowly roll out. So this news, this big news that's coming, I can't wait to see what it is. I don't know what it is. Some people have hinted at me what it could be, but I really don't want to, speak without truly knowing what it is. But new news that has to do with this subject is always good. The more the subject is talked about openly and discussed and shared on, news platforms and in the media, it's great. It's perfect. It's where we need to be going, pro-illusionists. So yeah. Mickle and a Pickle said, this is why I try and look at every aspect of the phenomenon. Yes. What got you into researching the phenomenon? I just did a podcast a week ago, and I talked about that. I brought it up. I brought up one part of it, right? One aspect of what got me. And I had this experience as a kid with shadow beings, and I didn't realize it was shadow beings until I was older. So I was already researching the phenomenon at that point. But I remember having a friend, too, when I was a kid that had this black notebook, and he would sketch in it, and he'd draw, like, cryptids and UFOs and stuff. He was really weird about it. He wouldn't let anybody grab it. He said it was his research and stuff. So I remember having that friend, and it was all these situations just, he disappeared. Like, one day, his family took him out of school. I never saw him again. But there were all these situations growing up that just led me down this path. It's like I've always been interested in this subject even before I could remember, right? Even before I could, like, I can't pinpoint a certain moment when this started. There is a video you guys should check out if you want to hear a crazy experience that happened to me a few years back here in Argentina. It's on the channel. I think it's like I don't remember the title. I think it's like My Paranormal Experience in Buenos Aires. But I had this really strange this really strange situation happen to me that to this day I still, like, when I try to talk about the paranormal and the unexplained, it's so funny. I can't explain what happened that night, and it blew my mind, right? It's so weird that, like, I don't know why. It's like I don't save the story in my head. It's like not saved in my head. Does that make sense? Like, I think it was so hard for me to grasp and understand what happened, and I hate telling the story, right? Because it just sounds crazy. I hate telling all those stories because I feel like people are just going to judge me and, like, try to rip me apart and go like, oh, like, this is all, fake or whatever. So I try to stick to just researching and making videos about that. But it's strange because I had this really, really weird experience happen here. And it was actually going back again to the ancient alien. I always say that. The ancient astronaut hypothesis. And it has to do with it a bit. If you guys want, I'll give you a breakdown, really quick version of it. A really fast one, though, because it's kind of a long one. Holy Noel said, I have dreams of invasion. Huge craft, running people up like a big vacuum cleaner. Horrible. Bro, that's terrible. I'm sorry. That's horrible. Dreams too. Like I've always been, when I was a kid, I was a really, like, heavy dreamer, right? I would dream all the time. It was pretty crazy. But I've had some pretty crazy dreams too. So I totally know what you're saying there. Maybe I'll tell one of those dreams. There's one that I don't feel like I can share yet, but I will one day, I promise, guys. The Pro Illusionist said, I feel like these few years have been the best years of disclosure so far. I'm hoping more to come next year. Yeah, I agree. I mean, it literally sparked this passion in me. Like, I always loved the UFO phenomenon. I've always looked into it. Like, if anyone that really knows me will know, like, that I've always been into this subject. But I've never been like, you know what? I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to openly go out there and try to make a community and grow it and meet awesome people and try to add some value to this subject and topic. And I'm going to try to wake some people up, until that happened. When that happened, it was like, okay, here we go. I need to know. I need to figure this out. I need to get everything. I need to get all the pieces of the puzzle. Let me say, Julie says, makes you wonder. I'm trying to, it's crazy, guys. You guys are having so many conversations in there. It's like, it's awesome. Super awesome. I'm like trying to talk and I keep looking at the mic and then I look at the conversations and I'm like, wait, what's going on? Julie says, makes you wonder. Makes sense. Like I said before, the mind rebels, but you must examine it. Okay. I think Mikkel says, yes, please. I think he's referring to that story that happened here in Buenos Aires. I made a whole video about it. You can check it out, guys. Like a paranormal experience in Buenos Aires, I think. It's on the channel. Let's just say I saw something that I couldn't explain. And I had people around me that saw it. It doesn't have to do with the UFO phenomenon. At least, I don't think it does. Right? I don't think it does. It was really weird. It was really strange. It might have to do a little more with, I don't know, like a cryptid kind of situation. But it was strange. It was very strange. And I like I said, guys, every time I tell that story, it makes me uncomfortable. Holy Noel said, I would like real answers. The 1954 Greada Treaty, Eisenhower, Grays, they took advantage of us. Bringing that up, that's good. I mean, that's a good point. Do you guys think that there is some sort of connection, like the Greys and the aliens, I hate saying that, the Greys and these occupants or these beings have been interacting with the government? Like the truth has always been there, and it's not that they're trying to find it still today, right? There's been that treaty signed. I don't know. It's an interesting to think about. Pro Illusionist said, you reckon that treaty actually happened, not disinformation? I'm going to be honest, 100%. I don't know. I don't know what to think about that treaty, but I do think something I was talking about the other day was, think about how difficult it would be for a president to come out and tell the world, the UFO phenomenon is real. Once like right now, basically, we're basically at the point where the UFO phenomenon is real, but nobody has really talked about the abduction phenomenon. The abduction phenomenon, the risk there that you're running with the truth, right? The risk there that the monkey wrench there, better said, is how do you stop it? How do you keep people safe? How do you go to bed at night knowing that you're not going to be abducted? How do you tell your kids, go to sleep, don't worry, there's no boogeyman, if they can be taken at any minute and put on a craft that nobody can keep up with and studied and just used however the beings or the occupants want to use them. I don't know. Yeah, Mikkel, I'm sorry. I would tell the story now, but I feel like it's gonna be too long of a story, But definitely check out the story. It's definitely worth checking it out. And I'd love to know what you think I saw that night, or what you think might have happened. I will tell you one thing, Mikkel. Before that happened, I was looking at the grimoires the night before. And I might have been messing around with something there. So I don't know. So remember, I think it's paranormal. My paranormal experience in Buenos Aires. That's probably what it's called. My dog is. I don't know if you guys can see her. Can you see her? No, she's out of frame. She's asking me to pet her. The 5D Raver. What's up, man? Gary, hey. How are you, man? What's up, Gary? I'm reading all your messages, guys. Thank you guys again for having all these great conversations in the live chat and joining me here. So I think my camera's gonna die now, guys. So I gotta go. But this was awesome. I'm sorry that we had the issue earlier where the Wi-Fi cut out. I'm glad you guys came back and we can discuss. Remember, ufology is not a man's world. Ufology and the search for the truth is for everyone, and we need to emphasize that and try to change ufology, going into the future. Make everyone feel a little more accepted, give everyone a voice, because that's what we need. We need to work together. We need a strong community. That's the only way we're really going to get any steps closer to the truth. My dog's name is Nala Mikkel. I can't keep up with the chat, guys, but really my camera's gonna die. So thank you guys for being here tonight. If you want to support me, check out my Patreon. Any support would help there. Subscribe to the channel. Share this video so people can watch the replay. Also, I'm gonna be on That UFO Podcast again, so make sure to check that out. I'm gonna be on Project Unity's channel as well, so make sure to check that out. And you guys are awesome. Seriously. Thank you guys for being here. Never stop searching for the truth. Okay, guys? We'll talk soon.